Hey guys, it's Nice Clips back with another Degrassi commentary video. So I felt like getting very interactive with you guys. I wanted to have a conversation, so I had this amazing idea to react to you guys' Degrassi opinions because you know I'm always talking about my opinions and then I read you guys' thoughts in the comments, but I thought it would be a great idea to open the floor to you guys just for you to pour out your opinions, and you guys did not hold back, so I'm super excited to read these. I'm just going to react to them, state whether I agree or disagree with these opinions and why. And some of you guys' comments were hilarious, so I can't wait to get into these. I wasn't able to include every single comment in the video, but trust me, I did read every single one. So without further ado, let's just get into it. I actually liked Declan Coyne as a character. He was exactly what he was intended to be, a troublemaker. I liked he got somewhat better with Holly J, except towards the end. So yeah, I agree. I thought Declan was a pretty solid character. I liked him. I thought he was an interesting little addition to the show, and he and Fiona definitely shook things up a little after a very boring and cringy season 8. However, when it comes to rich troublemakers, Miles definitely did it better. Whisper Hug was the worst of the Degrassi bands. It's like the type of music you'd play to small children. It's seriously giving Cocomelon. Yeah, Whisper Hug was a literal crime against humanity. I don't like talking about it. I don't even like thinking about it. Like, this guy is legit playing a children's toy as an instrument for this band. Like, this is so unserious. I mean, they look at them, like they look goofy in this photo. I mean, why is she sitting there with a cello? And don't get me wrong, I love string instruments. I literally play the violin, but I don't want to hear a cello in a rock band. I just don't. Like, somebody please tell me, how did we go from Downtown Sasquatch, the most amazing Degrassi band, how did we go from this to this?
Of being who you really are. A rock star, superstar.
Are you out your fucking mind?
I hate Zig Novak. He is one of the worst boy characters I've ever watched. Never have I seen such a boy with such insecurities that ruin multiple relationships. I don't know, to be honest. I think Degrassi didn't know what to do with him, so made him into a bad who's super boring and annoying. This is a super unpopular opinion of mine because I don't think a lot of people like Zig, but I actually really liked him. Not because he was like a super good person or had a ton of depth or anything, but I just found him really interesting. I mean, when he made the switch from like the geeky, skinny kid to the bad boy, I was like, wait a minute, what do we have here? And I just found his bad boy arc, his gang storylines, and his relationships throughout that time very interesting. And even though he tended to make very stupid decisions in these relationships, I was still drawn in every time, and I definitely wouldn't consider him boring.
When I finds out I'm dealing again, she'll kill me. If I stop, the gang probably will.
Here is another comment about Zig, and it says he shouldn't have gotten off that easily after basically killing Cam. So this wording is a little bit drastic. He definitely didn't kill Cam, and no one should be placed at fault for Cam's death because it was no one's fault. But I definitely do agree that there should have been more of an emphasis placed on what happened because I mean, we all saw what happened. Like, Zig said what he said, and it essentially sent Cam over the edge in that moment. And again, was Cam's death Zig's fault? No. But I do wish the writers could have gone a little bit deeper into Zig's emotions regarding what he said, because I really liked how we got to see Dallas's emotions and how his guilt was eating him alive, and it was really powerful. So it would have been interesting to kind of have a similar arc with Zig, because Zig's words definitely did have an impact in that moment. I don't think Next Class is that bad. It has its cringe aspects, but Degrassi has always been a little goofy, so it doesn't seem that off from the Next Generation. So the first 2 seasons of Next Class are hands down some of the cringiest stuff I've ever seen in my entire life, particularly with the younger class. I liked most of the storylines that were given to Maya's class, but that younger class was just so cringe. I mean, let's talk about that first episode about the stupid butt storyline. I mean, Degrassi Next Generation definitely had awkward storylines too, but they knew how to make it funny. Like, they knew how to make awkward situations funny, but the problem with Next Class is that it wasn't funny. It was just straight up awkward and it was just cringe. But on the other hand, seasons 3 and 4 of Next Class are pretty excellent in my opinion, and Maya's arc in season 3 is one of my favorite storylines in the entire franchise. I am low-key a Peter apologist, like he gets better in the end. I completely agree with this. I am a Peter apologist as well. He was certainly a little devil in seasons 5 and 6, but in seasons 8 and 9 I was completely cool with his character. I mean, did he necessarily have some major redemption arc? No, but did he grow up and mature? Yes, absolutely. By season 8 he was very chill, he was very forgiving.
It's in the past. I don't care. I like you for who you are now.
He was very nice and accepting to Riley.
You can still be a star athlete, have lots of friends. This doesn't change that.
He was a pretty good boyfriend.
You know, you were very, kind, mature with Mia.
He was cute towards his little baby sister.
Angel's my sister, so I want to take care of her.
There was just no reason to hate him by that point in the show, and that's just facts. Adam should have died via violent hate crime and JT texting and driving. So this is an interesting take, but I do disagree for many reasons. Firstly, because Adam had already received so much hate when he first arrived on the show. I really did not care to see any more hate scenes. Like, no thank you, that boy has been through quite enough. And in regards to JT, I thought him getting killed was very interesting and unexpected because he was like the class clown, the lovable guy. You'd never expect that to happen to a person like him. So the fact that he died from, a violence act like that, I thought it was a very interesting twist, and I don't think it should have been different. I actually didn't hate season 13. It wasn't as good as the previous seasons, and the intro was terrible. I'm gonna have to pause you right there because I definitely disagree. I actually quite liked the quick little theme songs they used for the last 2 seasons. I thought it was short, sweet, very modern, very cute. But going back to your comment, you said it did have entertaining and heartbreaking plots that I enjoyed. And yes, I agree. I liked season 13. I don't really have any issues with it at all. I enjoyed Claire and Allie's class. They were all grown up and had very mature and interesting storylines. Maya's class was starting to make a breakthrough introduction, and a lot of people don't seem to like the Paris episodes, which I don't know why, because I was hooked. I mean, there was drama, there was love triangles, there was mischief, and I absolutely loved it. Alex deserved better, and Paige discarded her when she became too much drama, just like she did to Marco, Hazel, and Ellie. So yeah, I got quite a few comments about how Paige was the problem in her relationship with Alex and how Alex deserved better, and I 100% agree. Paige was definitely not a ride or die, thick and thin type of girlfriend in my opinion. She would kind of always just quit on Alex when things got too hard. Alex was kind of in this place where she felt like she was dragging behind Paige, and Paige was doing different things with her life while she was just there slumming it at her house, and it was really disappointing how they had gotten back together and the writers just broke them up like 2 episodes later. I just wanted to see Paige kind of fight for this relationship more, but instead she was just like, no, you're ruining my career, you're not doing anything with your life, we need to break up. And I understand that, like, I really do. I just kind of feel like Alex loved Paige a little bit more. Kamaya over Matt Lingsworth, really over Zaya. I'm going to have to disagree. I hated Matt Lingsworth, Miles, and Maya. I thought they were very insufferable. I thought they had 0 chemistry, and the fact that they barely even talked in Next Class was very rewarding for me because I just wanted them to stay away from each other. And as for Zaya, Zig, and Maya, I was a hardcore shipper of those two. I mean, I know they started off as a cheating scandal because they kissed when Zig was still dating Tori, but some of y'all's favorite couples also started out as a cheating scandal, so let's not even use that as an excuse. I just loved all of the heavy tension that was going on between them, and there was this one scene at Maya's house that just had me holding my breath every single time I watch it, and I just can't understand how people did not ship them after that scene. Like, if you know this scene, you know what I'm talking about. Like, look at the tension and then the music in that scene as well. I was like, okay, this is too good. Whatever happened to Jack? He would have been the right age to be in grade 9 for Degrassi next class. He could have been used just like Emma was to link the old and the new. So am I the only one that just did not care about Jack returning? Like, I'm sorry, I just didn't care. Mr. Simpson probably did not want that kid attending Degrassi. He does not get paid enough for all the stuff he has to deal with at that school, and he was probably like, you know what, Jack, you're not attending Degrassi. Let's put you into a school that is more stable. Let's put you somewhere where I don't have to worry about seeing you strip in front of the whole school. That's why we don't see Jack in next class. Ellie's de-gothification was her downfall as a character. She went from being a deadpan one-liner icon to literally the most obnoxious person I could imagine having the displeasure of meeting. Very well said. I mean, I'm sure we can all agree to the fact that Ellie was the moment. She was an icon, she was a legend, but at the beginning of season 5, she was just, it ruined her entire character for me. So yeah, I like Hunter. Sure, he has his issues, but at this point in Degrassi, who doesn't? I disagree. What he did to Maya with the intense cyberbullying and the swatting was absolutely insane and criminal. Like, he should have been expelled. Like, I completely understand he was going through some things mentally, but imagine if that was Tiny. Tiny would have been expelled and he would have been in jail for doing that. And I thought it was completely unfair. Like, him and his little friends, Gail, Baz, and VJ, I disliked every single one of them and I wanted them all expelled. Next, Claire being a leading lady was a mistake. She was way too bland and annoying, please. I always skipped the Claire storylines. Also, it was so unbelievable that every guy just went crazy for her. Really, Claire? I agree. I thought Claire's visual characterization was very boring. Like, I hated her hair, I hated her sense of style. Like, is this really giving main girl? Is this really giving I'm dating the hot emo guy and the hot school player jock / class president? No, it's not. And I'm just sorry. Maya is an overhated character. Nothing she did warrants as much hate as she gets. People who hate her for how she reacted to Cam's death didn't understand the entire point of that episode / plot. I 100% agree. I will always defend Maya until the very end because I feel like people who dislike her simply just don't understand her character. People don't like her because they think she's annoying and nosy or what have you, which is the exact reason why I didn't like her when I first watched Degrassi, but after rewatching multiple times and maturing, I realized 9 times out of 10 when she's being quote-unquote nosy or meddling in her friend's business, it's because she's scared and she's worried about her friends after what happened with Cam. People say, oh, she wasn't sad when Cam died. She definitely was. She just didn't handle it in the traditional way. We saw Cam's death affect her in her relationships with her other peers throughout the following seasons. Everything she did was always out of pure good intentions for her friends, and she was hands down one of the most well-written characters in the latter seasons, right there next to Miles. I will rewatch any season. None are bad to me. Have you seen season 8?
Study sesh at the dot. We've got a family to get through. Let's do it.
I physically cringe watching that scene. Like, study sesh at the dot, we've got exams to get through. Anyways, Jay arguably had the best character development out of anyone on the show. So this one is actually a little bit tricky. I agree to a certain extent because if you take Jay from his start of the show compared to him at the end, 2 completely different people. But the problem is that we really didn't get to see that development taking place step by step. It was kind of just like, oh, this guy sucks and he's a terrible person, but he's kind of funny, so we kind of like him. But now he's still funny and he's actually a good person. So Jay definitely did have some type of development, but we didn't really get to see it pan out like we did for characters such as Bianca or Holly J or Spinner. This kind of ties into another comment that I got about Jay, about how they should have done more with him. And yeah, I completely agree. Like, if we got to see a little bit more of his home life, more of his background, it definitely could have like tied in to more of his development story. I love Marisol. Like, her comedic timing, HBIC energy was great, and she deserved her flowers. So yes, I actually agree with this. I didn't really care too much for her attitude when she first came onto the show, but definitely as she, went on as a character, she started to give us more that girl energy, and I was definitely here for it. I genuinely love how much the climate of the fandom has changed. Emma, Ashley, and Ellie used to be the darlings of the Degrassi fandom, while Manny was everyone's least favorite because of her wardrobe and because of her boy craziness. Now it's totally flipped. More and more people have realized how annoying Emma and Ashley are and how characters like Manny and Liberty are underrated. Facts, facts, facts. I definitely agree with this. I was definitely someone who liked characters like Emma when I first started watching the show, but as the fandom kind of just rewatches and matures, we're starting to realize how characters like that just were not a serve and how underrated characters like Manny and Liberty were. So this kind of ties into the last opinion that we will look at for this video, and it says JT was a horrible friend to Toby. He was always mean to him for no reason. So just like the last opinion, I think that this one is very similar because of course people used to and still do love JT, but I feel like a lot of the fandom is kind of starting to see JT as like a little bit of an annoying and mean character. And I saw a comment on Reddit saying that if JT hadn't have been killed off, people wouldn't like his character, and I kind of agree with that. I kind of agree. Like, he was mean to Toby often, he was mean to Liberty often, and again, that's not to say that I don't like JT, because I do, and I think I still would have liked him if his character weren't killed off, but I definitely had some problems with JT sometimes. Alright, that's going to close off this video. I had so much fun reacting to you guys' opinions. I hope you could have saw your comment here, and if you didn't, again, just know that I read it and I respect and I love all of you guys' opinions. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one.